Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, for more on Parliament's readiness to host the very first State of the Nation address in the 7th administration under the Government of National Unity is Speaker of Parliament, Ms. Thoko Didiza. Good evening, Ms. Didiza. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So in your briefing today, you indicated that tomorrow's occasion is the result of months of meticulous preparation and coordination. Just talk us through your readiness to host the joint sitting of the Houses of Parliament.
Thank you very much, Mfundo, to you and your listeners. Indeed, as you know, that at the beginning of the term, the President opens Parliament by giving us the priorities for the 5 years of government. And every year, he addresses the nation through the State of the Nation address, where he takes stock of where we are as a nation, what are the key issues that are in the environment that needs to be addressed, but also what are the priorities of government in this current year. So that's what will happen. The President, in terms of the Constitution, has requested the Speaker and the NCOP chairperson to actually convene a sitting where he will be able to deliver the State of the Nation address, which is tomorrow, the 6th of February, 2025. We indeed made plans to make sure that this address is delivered in accordance with our Constitution.
And then, as per the norm, there's only one item on the agenda, and that is for the President to deliver that State of the Nation address. Or has there been any changes?
No, there haven't been any changes. In terms of the joint rules, when such a sitting takes place, there's only one item on the agenda where the President delivers the State of the Nation address. In the following week, for the 2 days, Tuesday the 11th and on the 12th, which is Wednesday, members of Parliament will debate the State of the Nation address, and on Wednesday, the President will then respond to those reflections that would have been made by the members.
And then, just for clarity, we understand that the debate particularly would be taking place at the Dome. Is this in fact the case?
Yes, that's the case. As you know, Parliament's rebuilding process is still ongoing, and therefore the National Assembly is not fully reconstructed after the fire that happened. So the State of the Nation address will be held at the City Hall, and then the discussion and the debate of the State of the Nation address will take place in the Dome.
Now, in your briefing this afternoon, you indicated that SONA proceedings will retain the full ceremonial format, including the 21-gun salute. But of course, there have been some parties who have been calling for the removal of that aspect from tomorrow's proceedings or scaling down in recognition of the loss of the 14 SANDF members. They maintain there must be some sort of a breakaway from tradition when it comes to the role of the SANDF in the ceremony to acknowledge the nation's loss. Your views on that, and whether there'll be any sort of an honorary aspect included into that?
Well, let me indicate that in terms of the ceremonial aspect of any event of state, there are various categories, and those are determined by the relevant bodies such as the Defence Force, and in some instances where the police are the ones that are supposed to undertake such ceremony, they will do those in accordance with that category of the ceremony. It is also important to indicate that Parliament, after receiving that request, we did inform the National Defence Force. And this afternoon, the Minister did indicate to us that actually the ceremony, it's not a pomp like you would expect or some kind of celebration, but it's really about the honor to the country, and therefore taking the salute by the President on behalf of the country. So they don't see it as a matter of pomp and ceremony. And we will be advising those parties accordingly in terms of the response to what we have sent to the Defence Force.
All right. And SONA will be hosted under the theme of harnessing parliamentary diplomacy for realization of global solidarity, equality and sustainability. Just talk us through this year's theme.
This theme is actually in line with the hosting of South Africa's G20. And it reflects the issues that we as Parliament are concerned about, which touches on issues of solidarity, equity, as well as sustainability, which in our own country are matters that are also important. And therefore, given that Parliament will be hosting the Speakers Forum on the P20 towards the end of the year, we're actually anchoring the work of Parliament under this theme, so that as we prepare for the G20, we take stock as Parliament to reflect our own posture on matters of multilateral as well as global solidarity. What is it that as parliamentarians we can do to harness solidarity globally? But also, what can we do as Parliament in our own nation states to look at issues of inclusivity, of equality, and sustainability?
All right, Mr. Didiza, thank you very much for your time this evening. That's National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza just taking us through their state of readiness for tomorrow's State of the Nation address.